Hi, my name is Wendy, and today we're going to go over some intermediate yoga poses. All yoga poses concentrate on strength, balance, and flexibility. You'll see that some poses concentrate on one, others concentrate on two of them, and there are a few poses that do all three, and we'll talk about those. We'll start by sitting, and we're going to warm up our bodies first. I like to squeeze the fingers and toes a few times. Point, flex, circle. It's very important to warm up, otherwise you might hurt yourself, and we don't want that. So, to get to standing, this is what I like to do. It's my personal preference. I like to come up to the top of the mat and start to roll. 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 If my back wasn't rounded, and this is probably the only time I tell you to round your back, if it wasn't rounded, I wouldn't roll as well. So I'm trying to roll very round. If you would like to, you could roll back and roll forward to standing. So now we're standing. I like to place my feet hip width apart. That's different for everybody, so my hips are here. You could also choose to stand like this, toes together, heels 1 inch apart, along the midline, as long as your body is straight. What is a good mountain pose? It's from head to toe. Open the toes, push them down. Twist your thighs inward, tuck in your tailbone, pull in your stomach, open your shoulders, hands here, chin level to the ground. Breathe in with your nose and out through your nose. All right, let's start with some sun salutations. There's many kinds. We'll go over the basic one. Let's lift up as high as we can on an inhale. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees. You can jump or you can walk to plank pose, top of a push-up. Here we are. So to get to upward facing dog, I want to push my body forward. Push, upward facing dog. And toes on the floor, downward facing dog. It's okay if your heels are not on the floor, and I'll show you a side view in a moment. And we want to get back to the front. My only goal is to go to the front and be in the same pose as I was earlier, mountain pose. Now I could walk up or I can jump. The more you practice, the better you get. The goal is to get back to the front, making as little noise as possible. Arms up, hands here. So I was talking about the transition from plank to upward facing dog. That's better seen at a side view here. So, I'm in my mountain pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift up, inhale, lean back. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, look forward, plank pose. Top of a push-up, see? Now, for plank, I don't want my butt sticking in the air. This is cheating, but at least I'm not hurting myself. If I let go and I just let my stomach fall down, ouch, that's really bad for your lower back. Try to keep your back straight, tuck in your tailbone. So I want to go to upward facing dog. Watch my feet. Push. There I go. How do you know if it's the correct upward facing dog? My hands are next to my ribs. And I can straighten my arms and open my shoulders. So let's do that again. I'm in downward facing dog. Plank, top of a push-up. If I did not push forward with my feet, what happens? My hands are under my shoulders. They're too far forward. Ooh, that doesn't look good. No. Come back down. So that's why when you're in plank, you push forward. Upward facing dog. Now, if I wanted to add a pose called Chaturanga Dandasana, that's a little bit more advanced. I would bend my elbows and then push forward. You don't have to worry about that if you're not comfortable. Toes on the floor, push back. The heels, they're not always on the floor. The more flexible you are, the lower the heels are. For a good downward facing dog, my hands are open like this. See, the fingers are as wide as they can be. And instead of sticking my butt up, I'm actually tucking in my tailbone. Shoulders are wide, pull in the belly button, pull in the ribs, let your head hang. eye focus. What am I looking at? I'm looking between my feet right now, but I could also look as high as my chest or my belly button. If I'm looking at my belly button, I'm really stretching my neck. And look at the hands, come to the front. Arms up, hands down. Again, you don't have to jump. All right, so let's try that with some lunges. Feet hip width apart. Up and down. Bend your knees. Right leg all the way back, right? It goes back in a straight line. So here's a center line. It wouldn't be in the center line or over here. It'd be right here. Arms up, palms together, twist that way. This is a nice twisting pose. So this is strength and flexibility and balance. I'm trying my best to balance and not fall down. My legs are working hard to stay put, so that's strength. And I'm twisting, which is a stretch. So this pose is all three. Back to the center. Place this hand down. Back to plank. If you want to do chaturanga, you can, but you don't have to, but you have to at least push forward and back. Now the other leg goes forward. Ta-da! This is called revolving side angle. My arm rests on my thigh here. Straight line from elbow to elbow. My back foot is like this right now because I prefer it. Some schools show you to put it like that, which is okay. I just personally like it like this. Back to the center, place a hand down, plank pose. Great. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, exhale. And let's come back to the front. All right, let's go over a few standing poses, just a few. We have our blocks at the front of the mat. All right, so let's go over 4 side-facing poses. I'll only demonstrate one side. You could do both sides when you're by yourself. Here's a straight line on the mat. Both my feet have to be on that line. I'm going to lead with my right. My right foot is straight on there. My back foot is cut in half by that line. If you want it to be easier, heel on the line. A little bit harder, the line's going through my foot. 180 degrees, 90 degrees. Look here. How wide are my feet? As wide as you can make them, the wider the harder. Wrist to wrist is pretty good. All right, so I'm going to do a triangle pose to show you. Arms out. It's called triangle pose because my legs form a triangle. See? So this is what we don't want. In triangle pose, we want the legs to stay straight. And see my arms? Straight line. We don't want this, right? Some people think you must touch your foot. If by touching your foot you bend your knee and lean forward, you're not doing triangle pose anymore. It's much better to not go as low and still achieve the straight line. It's not about how low you go. You're trying to be flat, sideways, right? The second standing pose I want to go over is Warrior Two. The side-facing lunge. Same feet. You can go wider if you like. Bend your knee over the ankle. See, this knee wants to go this way or that way. Don't let it. Keep it right on top of the ankle. Arms out. Also, don't let your shoulders zoom forward. Keep your shoulders on top of the hips. And look over the front arm. Hold this for a little while. Then we can try forearm on the thigh. Side angle. This is what it looks like. Side angle. Look, I'm trying to make a nice line on the side of my body. Last one, reverse warrior. My legs stay the same. My upper body goes like this. This hand slides down. I'm looking at my hand up at the ceiling. Reverse warrior. And I'll just quickly show you on the other side, but on your own, I'd like you to do all these poses, 5 deep breaths each on both sides. Reverse triangle is what I wanted to go over. See this line going down the mat here? My right foot's forward, other foot back, or the other way around. So I would like to put a block on the outside of the foot. Go ahead and go for that block. Let's say the knee's bent. You need to make the block a little higher. That's okay. Twist and open. Now this takes a while for people to get, but my legs are not moving. My legs are straight, and again, look at the straight line, all the way up. That's what we want. Most people are here. That's okay. At some point, you'll be able to open the shoulders. This is what it looks like on the other side. Of course, you can go lower if your legs do not bend. Okay, so we have poses on the stomach. Here's Sphinx pose. Shoulders right on top of the elbows. And if you want to practice, forearm plank. Child's pose, push back. One that we like to do is called Pigeon. So here I have my shoulder width apart hands. I'm in plank here, knees on the floor, child's pose. See where my hand used to be? I'm going to place the outside of my knee. It works for everybody. Lean forward into pigeon. This stretches the outer hip muscle. I'll show you the other side. You want to hold it for at least 5 deep breaths. See where my hand was? Outside of my knee touches that part of the mat. And of course, I'm not going to roll over and sit. I'm going to face forward, and this hip is actually elevated off the ground. King pigeon is like this. Sleeping pigeon is like this. Just so you could see from the front, replace the hand. And there you go. And what I said earlier, you don't want to sit lopsided. You're not sitting at all. You're in the center. Maybe we would like to work on some strengthening for the stomach. This is called Navasana boat pose. Lift up your knees, grab a hold of them, and lift up your feet. Next, let go. You need to keep your back straight for this. And if you would like to make this a little bit harder, straighten your legs. Okay. Last, perhaps we can do wheel pose. You have to curl your hands underneath. This is a little bit challenging. It's not for everybody, and I'll give you something else to do if you don't want to do this. Place the hands here underneath your shoulders. Place the top of your head on the floor first, and then push all the way up. Hold it for 5 deep breaths. Again, if you want to make it harder, lift a leg in the air, and maybe lift the other leg up. And to come down, same thing. Head on the floor, chin to the chest, lie down, hug the knees into your body, rock them side to side. And finally, we have corpse pose. When you do this on your own, try about 5 minutes, relax your body and cool off. Try not to think about anything. And when you're ready to wake up, start moving a little bit, blinking, turn your head side to side. Stretch out. Get back up. Thank you for watching. Namaste.